Okay, so inshallah today we are going to cover the topic which is equation of motion, but we are going to discuss it in terms of its normal and tangential coordinate system. Just a quick review of what we did last time. At the start of this chapter, which is kinetics of a particle, kinetics का मतलब क्या है कि we are going to now include forces as well in order to perform the analysis of a particle. Now this method of kinetics, which is force and acceleration method, it will give you a relationship between forces and acceleration of a particle. At the start of this chapter, we quickly review the Newton's laws of motion, and we said that the second law of motion is basically the pillar of dynamics, because all the kinetics and all three methods of kinetic analysis are based on this second law of motion, which states that if you have a particle on which various forces are acting, the total amount of unbalanced force that is acting on the particle will move that particle with some acceleration in the direction of that unbalanced force. The magnitude of acceleration is proportional to A, or you can write F equal to ma. So this is basically the equation of motion, which says that whatever unbalanced force is acting on the particle, as a result of that unbalanced force, the particle is moved in the direction of that unbalanced force with some acceleration. So आपकी जो equation of motion थी वो हमने last time देखी थी. This equation of motion was summation F equal to ma. Then we wrote this equation of motion in terms of its rectangular components in the last lecture. That is, we resolved these forces in terms of its components along x, y, and z axis, summation fx, summation fy, and summation fz. Similarly, we resolved this acceleration in terms of its components along the x, y, and z axis as ax, ay, and az. Now, since it was a vector equation, so from that vector equation, we got three component equations which are being written along each axis, that is summation fx equal to max, summation fy equal to may, and summation fz equal to mav. तो ये वो equation of motion थी जो कि last time हमने पढ़ी थी और उसको resolve किया था along the x, y, and z axis. Now in today's lecture, we are going to start with this equation of motion, but we are going to write it in terms of normal and tangential coordinate system. As far as the theory of this topic is concerned, it is very much similar to the theory of rectangular components, except that we are going to use NTB coordinates instead of x, y, and z coordinates. उसके बाद जो कल वाला हमारा लेक्चर होगा उसमें हम इसी एंटी कोऑर्डिनेट्स को कंप्लीट करेंगे. थोड़ा सा कल हम बात करेंगे सिलेंड्रिकल कोऑर्डिनेट्स की, और फिर कल की क्लास में जो है वो क्विज नंबर 1 भी जो है वो आपका कंडक्ट होगा. Okay, starting with today's lecture, let us consider a particle which is traveling along this curve as shown to you in the figure. At any instant, this particle is located at position P as shown to you in the figure. This particle is acted upon by a total unbalanced force summation F, which is being resolved into its components along the tangential, normal, and binormal axis. Now just a quick review of this axis system, ताकि आप थोड़ा सा, वैसे तो काइनेमेटिक्स में आपने सारी एक्सिस पढ़ी हुई हैं, जस्ट क्विकली इसको हम रिव्यू करते हैं. हमने ये एंटी एक्सिस डिफाइन किस तरह की थी. हमने कहा था कि लेट अस सपोज कि हमारे पास एक कर्व पाथ है and the particle is traveling along this curve path. At any particular instant, suppose this particle is located at position P. आप ये axis define किस तरह करते थे? The tangential axis या t axis is being defined tangent to the curve at that particular instant. So आपके पास ये tangent to the curve है. So this axis is being defined as the tangential axis. The positive direction of this tangential axis was defined in the direction of increasing s. So the particle is moving in this direction, so s is increasing in this direction. So accordingly, this is going to be the positive direction of this tangential axis. That positive direction was designated by the unit vector ut. Similarly, the second axis, which was the normal axis, वो हम किस तरह define करते थे? It is the axis which is being defined perpendicular to the tangential axis at that instant. So आपने perpendicular to the tangential axis आपने एक axis define करनी, which is this normal axis. The positive direction of this normal axis is always going to be from that particle towards the center of curvature. तो इस curve का जो कि center इस तरफ है, so accordingly this is going to be the positive direction of normal axis. And that positive direction was designated by unit vector un in a similar way जिस तरह आपने ut define किया था as a unit vector along the tangential axis. So इस n और t axis को जब आप मिलाते हैं तो जो plane आपके पास आता है, that plane is basically termed as the एंटी प्लेन. नाउ इन केस ऑफ द एक्स वाई जी कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम, सपोज मैं आपसे कहता कि एक्स और वाई एक्सिस आपने डिफाइन कर दी और उनको मिला के आपके पास एक्स वाई प्लेन आ जाता है. In order to define the third axis, which was the z-axis in that case, वो z-axis आप किस तरह define करते थे? It is going to be an axis which is perpendicular to the xy plane. बिल्कुल उसी तरह आपके पास ये जो एंटी प्लेन आए इसके परपेंडिकुलर आप थर्ड एक्सिस डिफाइन करते हैं, which is basically the binormal axis, या जिसको हम b से डिनोट करते हैं using unit vector ub to designate its positive direction. तो आपके पास ये तीन म्यूचुअली परपेंडिकुलर एक्सिस आ जाती हैं, टेंजेंशियल एक्सिस, नॉर्मल एक्सिस, और इस एंटी प्लेन के परपेंडिकुलर आपके पास थर्ड एक्सिस आ गई थी, which was the binormal axis. So coming to today's topic, you have a particle which is traveling along a curved path. Why it is traveling along this curved path? Because it is being acted upon by an unbalanced force which is being resolved into its three components: summation ft along the tangential axis, summation fn along the normal axis, and summation fb along the binormal axis. So as per that equation of motion, which is summation f equal to ma, we are going to resolve this force into its three components along the tangential axis, normal axis, and binormal axis. Similarly, we are going to resolve this acceleration in terms of its three components: tangential axis, normal axis, and binormal axis, which is MAB. So overall, since it is a vector equation, it means that the individual components on both sides of the equation must be equal to each other. It means कि जहाँ जहाँ आपको ut नजर आ रहा है उसको आप equate कर देंगे, that is summation ft should be equal to mat. It will give you the first component equation from this vector equation. Similarly, when you apply or when you compare the coefficients on both sides of the equation along the normal axis, you are going to get this second equation, which is summation fn equal to man. Now, since the particle is constrained to move along the anti-plane only, therefore this term, which is MAB, should be equal to 0 because the particle is moving within the anti-plane. Therefore, the third equation would become summation FB equal to 0. Now, this summation FB equal to 0 does not mean that there are no forces which are acting along the binormal axis. Rather, forces would be acting along the binormal axis. However, there isn't going to be any unbalanced force acting along the binormal axis. In other words, आपकी जितनी भी forces binormal direction में act कर रही होंगी, they are going to be balanced. They are going to balance each other. In other words, this particle would be in equilibrium along the binormal axis. So these are the three component equations 1, 2, and 3 that can be used for the solution of problems involving kinetics of a particle in terms of anti-coordinate system. इसमें आपने एक बात का ख्याल रखना है कि this equation of motion gives you a relationship between forces and acceleration. However, अगर आपको acceleration और velocities वगैरह का relationship चाहिए तो then you have to use kinematics, जो कि हमने chapter number 12 में पढ़ा था. मसलन आपसे अगर मैं कहूँ AT क्या होता था, AT was basically v dot, और AT basically represents the change in magnitude of velocity v. अगर आपके पास एक पार्टिकल के magnitude of velocity में increase आ रहा होता था तो then AT and v are going to be in the same direction, that is towards the positive t axis. इसी तरह अगर इस पार्टिकल के magnitude में decrease आ रहा होता था तो then in that case AT acts opposite to the direction of velocity, that is towards the negative t axis. इसके अलावा आपके पास जो normal component of acceleration होता था an by formula this to v square over rho, where v is the velocity of this particle and rho is the radius of curvature, and the direction of this normal component is always going to be towards the center, that is towards the positive n axis. यही आपके पास जो normal acceleration है, इससे पहले आप इसको as a centripetal acceleration के तौर पे भी फिजिक्स में पढ़ते चले आए हैं. So this an, which is centripetal or normal acceleration, is basically the acceleration component which is directed towards the center. इसके अलावा आपके पास जब हम काइनेमेटिक्स पढ़ रहे थे तो हमने उससे रेलेवेंट न्यूमेरिकल्स भी सॉल्व किए थे कि जब आपके पास चूंकि हर इंस्टेंट पे टेंजेंशियल कंपोनेंट ऑफ एक्सेलरेशन विच इज दिस AT and velocity lies along the same axis, which is the tangential axis. So straight line kinematics के जितने भी आपके फॉर्मूले थे, they can be applied on a particle which is although traveling along a curved path, but along the t axis आप वो तमाम straight line axis वाले फॉर्मूले अप्लाई कर सकते थे, जिसमें आपके वो तीन जनरल इक्वेशंस भी आ जाती हैं और तीन कांस्टेंट एक्सेलरेशन इक्वेशन भी आ जाती हैं. यानी अगर आपके पास AT जो है वो टाइम के हिसाब से वेरी कर रहे हैं तो आप वो तीन जनरल इक्वेशंस अप्लाई कर सकते हैं अलॉन्ग द टी एक्सिस. इसी तरह अगर AT कांस्टेंट है तो आप कांस्टेंट एक्सेलरेशन इक्वेशंस भी टी एक्सिस के अलॉन्ग जो है वो अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. Okay, so that was the overall theory of that topic. Now, since AT, which represents v dot or dv over dt, it represents the time rate of change in the magnitude of velocity. So if ftx in the direction of motion, the particle will speed up, otherwise the particle is going to slow down. इन अदर वर्ड्स वही जब हम कह रहे हैं कि आपके पास जब जब AT और V सेम डायरेक्शन में आ जाए, इट मीन्स के पार्टिकल एक्सेलरेट कर रहे हैं या वेलोसिटी की मैग्नीट्यूड में इंक्रीज आ रहा है. इसी तरह अगर AT और V एक दूसरे के ऑपोजिट आए तो उसकी वजह क्या है कि पार्टिकल जो है वो स्लो डाउन हो रहा है. वो स्लो डाउन क्यों हो रहा है? बिकॉज आपके पास जो अनबैलेंस फोर्स है वो उसको स्लो डाउन कर रही है, बिकॉज दैट इज एक्टिंग टुवर्ड्स द नेगेटिव T एक्सिस. Similarly, an, which represents v square over rho, time rate of change in the direction of velocity, since this vector is always act towards the positive and axis, that is towards the center of curvature. Therefore, this Fn is sometimes known as the centripetal force as well. So आपके पास ये जो Fn होता है जो कि centripetal acceleration cause कर रहा होता है, ये basically centripetal force कहलाती है, जिस तरह आप इससे पहले physics में करते चले आए, because it is acting towards the center. So ये total theory थी इस topic की. The theory is same, that is how to apply this equation of motion along the normal and tangential axis. So आप forces को भी resolve करेंगे anti b axis के along, accelerations को भी resolve करेंगे और उसके बाद individual components को equate कर देंगे, तो आपको 3 equations मिल जाएंगी जिनको solve करके आप मुख्तलिफ forces को accelerations के साथ relate कर सकते हैं. So any question relevant to the theory of this topic जो आप पूछना चाहें?